If it bleeds, we can gut it. Hey gang, Kevin Goatee here, gutting the sacred cow. Well, we're on a trend of having critics' darlings being assailed by our guests. The streak continues with Nick from the Gag on This podcast as he goes after our generation and maybe best actor of all time's classically loved film, There Will Be Blood. Joining me in the co-host chair is Lauren Conlon. Remember her from 16 Candles? I do. She's funny. You loved her. I do too. Before we get to it, hey, guttingthesacredcow.com for merch needs. Grab a hat, mug, bag, whatever. You know what the deal is. Patreon.com/guttingthesacredcow. And to advertise with us, or just to say hi, give some notes, feedback, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com. And let's see if Big Nick from the Gag on This podcast can set fire to There Will Be Blood. Now that's some high-quality H2O. Lauren Conlon, name that film.
Wait, oh no. It's like an American Pie or some kind of millennial movie.
Our guest today is Nick from the Gag on This podcast.
Wait, tell me what it is.
Well, I'm going to let Nick have a guess at this. Nick, what film is that from?
I mean, it's The Water Boy.
That it would be. It is not some millennial film.
That is millennial. FYI, Waterboy's millennial, and I'm embarrassed. I should know
that.
Yeah.
That film is not millennial because I saw that in 1997 when it came out when I was in college. So no, it is not a millennial film.
Whatever.
Nice.
Whatever, burn. I suck. It's fine.
Don't let facts get in the good way of emotions like your little Gen Z people are like. Kevin Goatee, Lauren Conlon, you remember her, don't you? She did, oh God, not the breakfast. You didn't do the Breakfast Club. Which one did you do? 16 Candles.
Yep.
16 Candles.
Mm-hmm.
16 Candles. The John Hughes Circle of Hatred has been closed. Lauren, how's it going, my dear? What's new with you?
It's going well. Yeah, I feel like I wasn't mean enough on that podcast. It's for the feedback that I got from people that listened, and I read some Twitter comments, and I feel like it's not really my fault that I'm so sweet. Sorry everybody.
Boy, I didn't get that. I didn't get that news.
Fine. I guess I'm not so sweet, but
Well, we got Nick from the Gag on This podcast. Nick has decided to do a film. I immediately jumped on this one. This is a good one. People. It's funny, when you mention the name of it, people are like, that's a great film. But I haven't heard people mention this in a long time. And the name of that film is There Will Be Blood, ironically, which is what Lauren tells her husband when she wants to have sex with him when he's on her period.
Nope, don't say that. We do the shower, so it's not a big deal. It just washes right down the drain.
Oh, yeah.
TMI?
Right down the leg? That's a spirit. So do I.
Just down the drain.
Or a towel. Or a towel. There will be blood. We're getting a period sex in the first 15 seconds.
It's so bad.
That's why I adore her. There Will Be Blood, 2007, a budget at the time of $25 million, a box office gross of $76.2 million. Turn that into 2022 money, $33.6 million budget, 102.4 gross. A lot of money, good amount, decent ROI. IMDb, as we all know, is a scale 1 through 10 with decimal points. Nick, what do you think that There Will Be Blood scored on the old IMDb?
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be high. Let's go 9.2.
Lauren Conlon?
8.3.
One of you has won both showcases. And that one is with the Shen Elizabeth hair, Lauren Conlon, 8.2.
Oh my God! Seriously, I was so close. I'm never that close.
Yeah.
Don't even. I don't know what joke you guys can make on that, but yeah, I'm not usually a winner.
I'm gonna let you take your bow and enjoy your moment.
Thank you. That's very nice. That's very nice. Very nice. Yes, since we started out on period sex.
And we can only go up to butt sex.
Yes, only up.
Rotten Tomatoes is a scale 1 through 100. What do you think Lauren Conlon, the critics, gave There Will Be Blood?
I'm going to go the critics, 91%.
Nick, indulge me. Excuse me.
I mean, I'm going to say 85. Like, it's got to be close to IMDb.
One of you has won both showcases and is dead nuts on. And that person is wearing a halter top. Lauren Conlon, 91%.
I mean, you would think I cheated, but I'm so sweet. I don't cheat. So it's
Please
fine.
don't tell me you're cheating in this game because there is
No,
no
I'm
prize.
not. I'm not. I'm just never that close.
Well,
sorry, Nick. Sorry.
Well, let's see, Nick. What do you think the audience scored There Will Be Blood?
Well, they're pretty stupid, so I'm going to go 95.
95. Lauren Conlon, can she get 3 showcases on one podcast?
I'm gonna go 98.
86 for the audience.
Aww.
So I was closer. I mean, if this is the Price is Right,
you were closer, but not both showcases.
Nick, you're close. Good job. You really want that win so bad. You really wanted to make that a thing.
Quotes: I see people and see nothing worth liking. And the obvious: I drink your milkshake because it brings all the boys to the yard and their life is better than yours. Any other quotes? How about her? Lauren Conlon, did any quotes jump out at you?
I mean, yeah, all of them, Kevin.
Oh, really? All two I gave you?
Yeah, of course. No, the first one.
Nothing else in addition to those jumped out at you?
Not really, no.
Okay, fair. Nick, how about yourself? Any quotes jump out at you?
Randomly when he shipped his kid off to deaf school and he was just like, how big is his room? I was like, that's a fucking weird thing to ask.
Are you asking people in your daily life how big is their room and hoping that you're going to catch somebody who knows what you're talking about with a movie quote? Nick's at a party. Alrighty then. Okay, my turn. How big is your room? What the fuck is that from?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Little obtuse, but okay. That was his selection, so there be it. 5 fun facts. While filming There Will Be Blood, it is set in California, but the film was shot in Marfa, Texas. One day while filming, they did a run-through of the scene where the oil derrick catches on fire with the sky filling with smoke. This turned out to be a problem for, do you know what film is shooting at the same time? No Country for Old Men.
Get out of here. Sure. I didn't know that.
Yep. And it was shooting around the town at the same time, so that caused problems because of the smoke. Number 2, according to costume designer Mark Bridges, the hats that Daniel Plainview wears throughout There Will Be Blood were chosen to reflect his character development. He explains, leading up the first time we see the main hat, his hats kind of echo or inform what's going on with his career and life. I sure as shit didn't catch that, so I must be an A1 dummy.
Who the fuck pays attention to that shit?
I
know.
The
costume designer, that's who. Or someone who lives in character 24/7 for the entire shoot, i.e. DDL.
Wait, can I say something about a quote really quick, Kevin?
I would love for you to.
Well, no, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I don't remember this quote, but I did look it up, and it says, "You slithered out of your mother's filth." What, do you guys remember that part? I don't remember that.
Yes, that was the very end where the deaf guy walks out and wants to buy out.
I might have been too young, like when I watched it, like to really have this type of language resonate with me as a, I don't know.
Too young as in 2 days ago when you watched this?
No. When I watched it, like literally in theaters and like whatever it came out, 08 or 07, whatever it was, which I was in my 20s and, I didn't really pay attention, but I'm like, that's so weird. That's a disgusting line. But anyway.
Number 3, sorry, I read that one. No, I didn't read that one. It's appropriate Daniel Day-Lewis based Daniel Plainview's voice and mannerisms on director John Huston because There Will Be Blood was heavily influenced by Huston's film The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Paul Thomas Anderson, I'm going to call him PTA here for short because I'm not going to say all 3 names because when you say 3 names, that means you're talking about a serial killer. PTA has said rumors of him watching the movie every night during production have been greatly exaggerated. Oh, cute. But it did serve as a major inspiration. That fact wasn't that fun, according to you two. Number 4. The prop oil was made from the same substance as McDonald's chocolate milkshakes.
Oh, is that true?
If it's on the internet, it's true.
Wait, that's crazy.
No, it's not really because McDonald's shakes, I've had one about 2 months ago. They've really gone downhill. Or I haven't had one in so long, I don't remember how bad they were, because I guess having Five Guys shakes now and Shake Shack, it's a lot higher quality of a product.
That's true. That's true. I actually am I'm more of like a Frosty fan, but
Fair.
yeah.
You went to a McDonald's whose shake machine actually worked? I don't believe you.
In the original script, Plainview beat Eli to death with a tumbler as opposed to a bowling pin, and then he threw Eli's corpse through the bowling pins and into the cellar below, which I think was a much wiser choice than how they ended it as is.
Same here.
Because
Yeah,
he could have yelled strike and then went to credits.
Wow. I mean, I still like the ending. I don't know.
Okay, we'll get to it. Calm down, Annie Oakley.
Okay.
And now it's time for the fans to jump in and ask a few questions in our Ask a Gutter. At Nemirovsky, Nick, what was more intense, the oil rig catching fire or the collective jizz explosions in the pants of critics and pretentious movie snobs when they first saw this film?
The latter.
Succinct and sustained.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Well, I was going to say it, but I was like, that's a fucking mouthful. So
Zing.
it's sort of like, I could have said ditto instead of I love you kind of thing.
You could have said I know like Han and Leia did. All right. Brandon Oglesby at Newark Knight, Mr. Question himself. He has a ton of fantastic questions week in and week out. Nick, is the I Drink Your Milkshake scene from There Will Be Blood as iconic as people remember it, or is it just overblown and overhyped?
Ooh,
That is actually the
question.
only thing I put down here that says the movie has a redeeming quality is the I drink your milkshake. And then Daniel Day-Lewis going, I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. Like, that's the only redeeming quality of this movie.
Fair. At The Architect, There Will Be Blood, after I shot myself for watching it. Not really a question, but a joke. Zing. Nick, not many questions for Ask a Gutter on that one, my friend. I'm sorry. The fans really either were ambivalent about you gutting this or were more focused on our next episode. Nonetheless, it is now time for you, Nick, because you've been all over Twitter all weekend in eager anticipation, saying how you can't wait to take the living tits off Daniel Day-Lewis's vehicle. Daniel Day-Lewis, easily the best actor of this generation. So, Nick, I want you to gut the sacred cow.
So, first off, I'm shocked you didn't mention this fact that there is an outtake of Daniel Day-Lewis actually breaking character from this movie.
Did not see that. Otherwise, that would have made the cut.
Same here. Wow.
Yeah, it was in the bar scene when his kid comes back. The old waiter in the background, he actually drops everything, and Daniel Day-Lewis just busts up. So, fun fact there. All right, first, let's talk about the length of this bastard. 2 hours and 40 minutes. I checked the time. I was like, okay, we got to be close to done. And it was only 20 minutes past.
Not a good sign.
You know what? PTA, if you're listening, shave 5 seconds off every fucking scene. And you know what? 90 minutes, done. We don't need this suspense of like, ooh, let's look at he's holding a rock. Let's slowly pan in on the rock because that's so important to the story.
Killing me. Sorry, it's killing me.
Well, it's true. I mean, there was a scene. I'm trying to think of it. There was a scene where he was just sitting there. And like you have this music, which we'll get to as well. And it's panning in for way too long. And it's like, okay, just, get to it. Like when the derrick explodes, it's like, okay, we know it explodes. I don't need to see him bent over, just staring at a fire for fucking, I think it was a minute. No. Trim that shit. So that's my biggest one.
All right.
Biggest one. All right. One thing I thought was weird is the camera movements. So the very first scene where you see Daniel Day-Lewis talking to all the people for his very first interaction to try and get a oil lease, and he points to his son. Daniel Day-Lewis keeps talking, yet the camera pans to the son and starts zooming in on the son, and it's like, yeah, let's focus on this kid who's not making any facial expressions and completely disregard what Daniel Day-Lewis is saying and doing. No. And you know what? I don't know if it's cinematography or whatever, but the fact that they gave the cinematographer an Academy Award just shows that it's rigged.
You're like very picky. All I'm going to say is you're picky, but continue.
Wait a minute. Rigged? Oil rigged? Oh, you son of a bitch. Look at this. Don't you try and sneak a pun by me. By the way, Derek, I just Googled this because I should have researched it. The term Derek, you know where it came from? The type of gallows named after Thomas Derrick, an Elizabethan era English executioner. Now, how the hell does that come to be for an oil drilling apparatus? You know what? That wasn't that fun of a fact. All these fun facts were quite lackluster. I did groan several times.
Yeah, it's okay.
I did groan and go, these facts are really not that fun. I'm trying to sell these sons of bitches, but you know what? You guys are not picking up what I'm putting down. Continue, Nick.
Well, maybe from now on, just don't preface it with fun. Just be like, this is a fact.
Well, Nick, you should listen to this goddamn show, and you would know that 5 Fun Facts has been part of this segment since inception. So, no, I will not do that.
All right. Let me get back to my list here. Okay. So this is something that doesn't necessarily have to do with the movie. It was just something I read that I thought, well, that's interesting. So the dude who owned the rights for the book it's quote unquote based on, Oil.
Upton Sinclair, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that owned it, Eric Schlosser, said in an interview, quote, I wanted to try and find a director who was as passionate about the book as I was. But director Paul Thomas Anderson approached me first. So the fact that he wanted to find a director and he's just like, you know what? He may not be that passionate about it, but he first came to me.
What outlet said that? Sorry, that's crazy.
So Eric Schlosser, the dude that bought the rights, basically said he wanted to find a director that was as passionate about the book as he was, but PTA came to him first.
Wow.
Just an opportunist.
Okay. I mean, I don't see what that has to do with the film, but like watching it wise, but okay, Nick, continue.
Oh, I have another, I guess, fact that doesn't belong there. PTA said that John Holmes was a great actor.
What?
Yep.
Oh, this is from Boogie Nights then. Okay. All right.
That's an opinion. That's an opinion, but okay. Fair.
Lauren, have you seen a John Holmes film?
I mean, yes, no, but it's still an opinion, okay? So I just think everyone's entitled to one.
She dressed up as him for Halloween in 2019, for Christ's sake.
I did not. I've never seen a John Holmes film, really.
Well, you're missing out.
Apparently not, according to Big Nick over here. So,
well, I don't watch it for the story, that's for sure.
He watches it for his hog. Oh, sorry, that's a company secret I just portrayed.
That was weird. That was weird.
John Holmes is a porn star, Lauren Conlon. He's a porn star. Did you not know that?
Oh, wait, you guys, I really didn't know that. That's why I was Nick, I don't know what you're talking about.
She wasn't getting the irony, so I had to really kind of pull the curtain back.
No, I literally did not get that. I'm wicked embarrassed right now. Sorry. I only watch lesbian porn, you guys.
Ooh, let's have a viewing party.
I got ya. Did I redeem myself?
What's lesbian porn? You guys sit there and play Indigo Girls music while watching girls scissor?
No, Kevin. I just Google it, actually. Okay. I just
Shucks.
literally Google, lesbian porn. And actually, whatever. Anyway, continue. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get into this one.
All right. Next one. So Paul Dano was only supposed to play the brother that tells Daniel Day-Lewis about the land. So the original guy that was supposed to play Paul Dano as the priest, I forgot his name, Eli or whatever, it doesn't really matter. He was fired. And Also, fun fact, or just fact, because it's probably not that fun. He actually attributes him to no longer acting to getting fired from this movie. But what do? They just lazily go, you know what? Let's make the Sunday brothers identical twins. Yeah, we don't have to do anything else. Let's just make them identical fucking twins. No.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And maybe if that didn't happen, Paul Dano didn't get a bigger role, we wouldn't have, a shitty Riddler now. Sorry, Zodiac Killer.
Oh.
It's in the notes.
All right, another one. When he is yelling, casting out the spirit, when he's like, I will take your, whatever, arthritis or whatever that old bitch has. He says, if I have no more teeth, I will gum you.
Yeah, that should have made the quotes.
Like,
I like that actually, but.
Well, I mean, if you're a spirit and I threaten you, like I'm going to gum the shit out of you, are you going to be like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm cool. Like you have such a good writer in PTA and that's what you go with. I'm going to gum you.
That might be heard a lot in Lauren's porn viewing habits of lesbian senior citizen porn. I'm gonna gum you.
It's really not senior citizen porn, but yeah. No, I guess when you think about it, that's kind of a weird thing to say. But I take that as like I'm so fucking tough that even my fucking gums will kill you. No, I don't know. No.
The sound effect sold it for me.
Yeah. Thank you. There you go. Whatever,
right.
Nick.
Well, I mean, it's just, you got PTA, who's, this great writer. He writes this whole thing, which, by the way, it says it's based on the book. He only used the first 150 pages. And then after that, it doesn't look anything fucking like the book. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But you have this great writer and you can't create a better monologue than that. Hell, just get rid of it and the scene would still be powerful, right?
Sure. I agree.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't mind it as much as you do. But anyway.
I will gum you. That stood out to me so much. Like I had to pause it and rewind it. And it was like, did he really say that? Yeah, he fucking did. All right. The music, the score, which also won awards. Is it a horror? Is it a Western? It cannot make up its mind with this fucking score.
I think the music's beautiful, but geez.
No, it's okay. It has its moments, but it has its moments if it was a horror film. But it's not. It's like half Western, half, I don't know, character fucking development. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Kevin, do you agree with this? Like,
it's all in there for my section. That's why I said.
All right, fine.
But it is. It had like, all right, the opening scene where he's getting the gold and then he breaks his leg and then he has to drag himself out. And it pans up and you see the mountains. The score with that was just like really high-pitched violins that you usually hear in horror films.
Very true.
You just remind me of like Jason Alexander in Shallow Hal when he like finds everything wrong. You know what I'm saying? When he's like, I'm dating this hot girl, but she has like a crazy big toe or something. You're just like, you're really, really reaching. But anyway.
Members only. You must be the last remaining member.
Whatever.
That's from that film. Okay.
No, and I'm not nitpicking it because the music is throughout. I mean, nitpicking it would be, they used an iron stake when in reality in the 1910s, iron wasn't that plentiful. I don't even know if it is or not. I'm just saying,
It was. I mean, they're building railroads with iron, I'm sure, to lay down tracks and locomotives. And that's fine. Nick, I understand. I'm not going to nitpick you. Lauren Conlon is going to nitpick the shit out of you, obviously. But I'm going to let certain things slide for the sake of the argument.
Well, I mean, it's because
Nick,
I'm right.
Go finish up. What else do you have? That's like, yeah, go.
Ooh, she's
I'm waiting.
feisty as fuck tonight. Kids.
I know she is like.
It's been a day.
Pissed.
Okay, I want to hear what else offends you in this movie.
All right,
son of
now,
a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
The last thing that upsets me, which is part of the iconic scene, is Daniel Day-Lewis is supposed to live in this very opulent mansion. What screams opulence more than a fucking bowling alley? Like, really?
Oh, I disagree. Aaron Spelling had a fucking bowling alley in his house, and the man created 90210 and hundreds, but shows bowling alley. If Kevin Goatee hits it rich, I don't give a shit how garish it may come across. I will have a bowling alley in my house next to my video arcade.
Thank you. He's right, Nick. Most ballers have bowling alleys,
right,
whether you like bowling or not. But
no, that doesn't scream
You just told us that you're not a baller, basically, is what you just did.
Oh,
That's
shit.
literally what you did, but it's fine.
Listen, bowling is fun.
You're cute, though.
Thank you.
Bowling
That's
is
a nice runner-up prize.
Going and bowling is fun, except for having to deal with white trash next to you. That's that's what having the. I don't want to go.
See the shoes, but yeah, sure, that too.
I mean, do you want to, Lauren Collin? Do you want to stand next to cruise ship people when you throw a ball down a lane?
No, I don't bowl, so
I'm gonna sound as
yeah.
douchey as possible.
Yeah, no.
We don't winter. Right. We don't winter with our bowling alleys, but I would have one in my house. How about that?
Yes, exactly.
Hilarious.
By the way, your description of cruise ship people like that was that right
Spot
in my mind's
on.
eye.
Hit the nail on the head. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It is. It's Norwegian Cruise Line people. You're so right. It's seriously. Actually, what am I thinking? Carnival. It's Carnival. Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but I'll take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this didn't bug me as much as it was just weird. So he kills the guy. The butler comes down, and the butler's just like, well, this looks like, this is another Tuesday. Like, he has no reaction. I believe this is probably the first time he's seen somebody brained in with a bowling pin.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree. That butler has definitely dragged a hooker carcass across those lanes into the back. And it's like, you're right. It's just too. It's like, oh shit, more mess we to clean up. Get the bleach. Get the sawdust. Like, yeah. He's used to dragging bodies. He's like, fuck. It's like 2 a.m. I should have stayed in bed. It would have been cool, but now I have to stay up and clean this shit.
That's why you hire those people, because they're like, they're quiet. They keep quiet.
They're the Winston. That's the Winston Wolf that you need in your life, kids.
Mm-hmm. True.
I don't think many kids would get that reference.
If they don't know Pulp Fiction, you're listening to the wrong podcast. That's all I have to tell you.
Even I know Pulp Fiction. It's true.
All right, and then how it ends. I'm finished. And then scene. Like what? Like it's akin to the ending of The Sopranos. Like black screen, and you're like, what the fuck? There's no closure. He just kills him, and then he's like, I'm finished. Boom.
Nick, I agree, except for the one part with The Sopranos. At least I didn't check to see if my cable went out. Unlike watching this film, I was like, okay, it's fading to black instead of just a quick cut to black and go, oh shit, do I have to call Cablevision now?
Wow, that's actually a really good call, Kevin. I think I did that too with Sopranos. But I mean,
everyone did.
Weren't you ready for it to end? I mean, why are you complaining about the ending that was so abrupt, which you wanted and prayed for the whole entire movie? So.
Oh, it could have ended so many goddamn times. Like, we didn't need to see the whole scene of his son, like, hey, I'm going to go to Mexico and I'm going to do like that. I mean, granted, we do get that great line of you did spew from your mother's filth and you're a bastard in a basket, which I thought was that's pretty fun to say, right, guys? Say it with me.
That is the best name for the newest fast food item at Wendy's. Bastard in a basket.
Bastard in a basket. I like that, actually. But the filth thing, I was like, I don't remember that. But again, yeah, whatever.
Lauren's gonna tell her kids that when they fucking misbehave tomorrow. You spilled you spilled like filth from my loins or whatever.
You mean like right now outside this door? I think that's what you mean. That's why I keep muting myself, and I'm really sorry if you see me go on live because I start hearing them yell. So I'm like, oh, mute. Sorry. Anyway.
And then, I mean, that's pretty much what I have. All the other stuff is just really doesn't have to do with the movie, just has to do with how things progressed, i.e. the Riddler thing. But no, I mean, my main gripe was he's trying to build suspense with these long scenes. Like, I get it. But he's not building suspense. So cut that shit. Make it like a punk rock song. Trim the fucking fat and let's just get down to the nitty gritty. He finds a rock that's gold. Cool. Next, let's show him breaking his leg. Let's show him being dragged. Okay, cool. Let's see him now going for gold. Like, we don't need all this shit.
Wow.
Is that it, or you have more that you want to get through?
I mean, that's it.
Okay.
Like I said, the only redeeming quality, I did put dude asked for $10K for a church. That's $300,000 in today's money. That's a little excessive.
Wow.
I like how you did the numbers, but come on, you know how these church assholes operate. They always ask for an obscene amount of money, including the church where I had made my confirmation. The guy took all the money and left for Jamaica, Father Dan, in, I don't know, the late 80s, booked for Jamaica.
Is that true?
True fucking story. Not that I'm a religious man now, I'm atheist now, but I had to go through all those, trials and tribulations. But yes, so if you're going to ask for money, you might as well go fucking beg. And I will address that in my notes. Nick, why don't you give me a score, what you thought of this film, 1 through 10, please?
2. Maybe a 3.
Why maybe?
Like, there were some good scenes. I do like the monologue where he says he hates people, but as Lauren pointed out, I'm a very angry individual, so it probably just spoke to me on a primal level that all people suck and I see nothing redeeming in them. But that's why possibly a 3. But it was a chore to get through.
Damn.
Okay. Lauren Conlon, come on down. You're the next contestant.
Damn. Okay. I mean, like I said, I'm sticking to what I said about you being a nitpicker. I mean, you're picking out specific lines in this movie. I would say let's look at this movie as a whole, right? Let's not pick out certain things. Let's look at Daniel Day-Lewis. Let's look at Paul Dano. Paul Dano, by the way, I think this kind of made him. I was like really impressed with him in this movie. And then after this movie, I started paying attention to him. Daniel Day-Lewis obviously is amazing in everything he does. I kind of agree with you. It's a little bit long, right? That's my only thing about this movie. It's a little bit long. I love the themes behind it. I love the greed. I love just the religion. I just love the grittiness of it. And I just remember specifically a couple scenes with Daniel Day-Lewis where he gives those big speeches that just really, really kind of pulls at my heartstrings, I mean, overall, it's a great film. It won a lot of awards and rightfully so. And that's that to me. I think that everybody is entitled to an opinion, everybody, but there's like, you're talking to the girl that goes to see shitty rom-coms for fun by herself. So like, take it from me. There are like movies are bad. Like they are bad. This is not a bad one. This is not a bad one. There, you're welcome. I'm doing a curtsy. So.
Wow, that was lightning fucking fast.
It was? Really?
Yeah, that's cool.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, shit. Well, Lauren, give me your score, 1 through 10.
Okay, so my score, 1 through 10, I give it a 7.5.
Wow.
What is that good or bad?
That's very good. I think
it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Do you own this?
No, I have something called like on demand, and I just like click it and then I watch it.
You didn't buy
just boomer.
You don't have this on VHS?
I mean, I'm just like, what did you mean by that? Like, do I have a fucking Blu-ray player or DVD player? Like, no, I don't. I don't know. Is this a trick question?
Oh, okay.
Well, hold on, Lauren, I'm curious. What stopped you from giving it like an 8 or a 9?
So, the length. Right? Like, I'd say the only movie that's like almost 3 hours that I actually liked was Schindler's List, which sounds crazy. It's just because I'm obsessed with World War II. I know that sounds nuts, but anything else, like even The Irishman, I was like, boom! I was like, please end. I can't watch these fucking old men anymore. Yeah. So I just, and like Kevin said, that was fast. I'm very much into like let's just get to the point, man. What are we wasting time for? Right? Foreplay, what's that? Just get to the point.
Yo, dating her must have been a joy. Like, listen, drinks, dinner. Let's just get to banging already.
Literally, what are we doing here? I'm like, I don't have time for this. I literally have to work tomorrow. Let's go. Like, anyway.
We're going to pretend to do fucking cutesy poo. Well, where were you? What's your sign? Never mind all that.
No.
These notes brought to you by the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast. Of course, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com if you wish to advertise with us. But if you're a new listener, thanks for coming aboard. And if you're a new listener, please take this time to go write us a 5-star rating, 2 or 3 sentence review on your podcast platform of choice. And hell, while you're at it, head on over to guttingthesacredcow.com where you can grab a nifty t-shirt, hat, mug, bag, cell phone holder, you name it. We've got it. guttingthesacredcow.com. Notes! No dialogue for the first 15 minutes of this film. Even porno has more talking and about the same amount of squirting in this film as well.
If you got black stuff squirting, you got to get that shit checked.
Yeah.
Ew.
Daniel Day-Lewis cannot wear a mustache in any film past Gangs of New York because you're going to automatically reflex to Bill the Butcher for me. You got to pay for the pleasure for my company.
Holy shit. I actually thought that the great portion of the movie. I was just like, all I'm thinking about is Bill the Butcher.
Right.
Wavelength, you and me.
Right on, buddy. Finding sites and drilling for oil has the same appeal to me as going on a cruise ship to Jamaica with Jimmy Buffett fans. Nope. I would rather mainline fire ants into my rectum and watch my mom get spit roasted by the Portland Trailblazers than have a dad who made me chase oil dreams with him.
Holy fuck, that's dark.
Jeez. Yeah.
How boring is it for a 6-year-old fucking kid to traverse the country sleeping on the ground? All that time traveling and walking, and you never find out why your dad named you HW. How lazy of a name are you going to go with that? HW. Give the kid a full name and just call by his first.
My son's name is MJ. What the fuck? Sorry.
Is that in the birth certificate?
No, it's not. It's not.
Aha,
Continue. Continue.
Yeah. I would demand having a full name for having to live my entire life camping, which, of course, as I said before, is vacation for poor people. Paul Dano looks like he's going to grow nicely into the mole man from The Simpsons, if you watch and, stand back from afar. The manipulation by Plainview is as masterful as getting Joel Osteen to having a cult of dummies finance his fleet of private jets.
Damn.
That's the preacher guy.
Plainview is Daniel Day-Lewis, but watching him.
Sorry.
But he's manipulating the whole town and the church people like.
This is what happens when you tell dumb people jokes. So continue. It probably was funny. I'm just too dumb for it. So.
All right, I'll talk on an entertainment reporter level from now on. Here we go.
Kim Kardashian, what?
Boy, Paul Dano is really trying his hardest to become the next Willem Dafoe, right, guys?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Well, Nick, here's where you and I are going to definitely be simpatico. The music when the oil well caught fire doesn't match up one bit. I felt like I was in the middle of the Caribbean during Carnival than watching an oil rig explode and kill people, possibly. Daniel Day-Lewis did to Paul Dano what all of us wanted to do to Paul Dano for his interpretation of the Riddler in The Batman.
Yes.
And that's beat the shit out of him multiple occasions. Thank you. An hour and a half in, and I just tapped out. I have broken this film up into 2 separate viewings because I've seen lines at the DMV move with better pacing and funnier antics than this film has so far. If I was Daniel Day-Lewis's son, I would have loved to set fire to his house to burn up his dad and his 4 words a minute speaking uncle. Can that guy have spoken any slower?
I forgot about that guy.
He spoke slower than people from Ohio Drive, which is excruciatingly slow and in the left lane. Get the fuck out of our way. But I also can't blame Daniel Day-Lewis for putting that little arsonist shit on a train out of town. I bet if Dad got a whore once in a while, he could explode like his oil rig and get all the badness out. Maybe he wouldn't be such a cunt to his kid. I wrote for the second time, this music doesn't fit at all. The last time I heard music like this was watching Tom Cruise walk through an orgy in Eyes Wide Shut. My attention span is being metaphorically chased like a one-armed man with a butterfly net. I don't care about the deaf kid leaving him. I didn't care about him one bit, saying I'm going to go out. No one gives a shit. I tell you what. So mission accomplished for this film. It always angers the shit out of me to see these religious hucksters in any capacity, real or fake. So Eli's character accomplished that goal because I can't stand him, but probably a healthy chunk of that is Paul Dano in real life as well. Not the religious zealot part, just the annoying part.
Yeah, okay. I like him, but anyway.
Okay. He looks like a cartoon turtle in a live action film that came to life.
That is a good comparison.
Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Usually thank you. Usually my notes are a lot more in quantity, but I don't have many notes because I couldn't be more bored with this story. Bottom line, Daniel Day-Lewis is unquestionably the greatest actor of our time. There's zero debate. If you try and fight this, you're fucking wrong. He is a masterclass in motion at all times. I know this is a well-made film, but I cannot understand the argument why people love it. Did we need the fake brother storyline to eat up 20 to 30 minutes of screen time? We did not. Yes, I get that it serves for later story maturation where Bandy knows what Plainview did and uses that to get him back into church and back in with Paul Dano. I get that. But again, who gives a fuck? 2 hours. 2 hours and 40, I know. 2 hours and 40 minutes in, this moonwalked into quicksand from Jump Street for me. And I have no problem with long films. As the aforementioned Pulp Fiction is also 2 hours and 40 minutes, one of my second favorite film of all time. I love JFK. Over 3 hours. Do not mind long films. You know why? Editing. Tarantino films, always over 2.5 hours. Editing, pacing, quality story, fun characters, memorable dialogue. This story has none of them. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis's character. I'll give it that. I take that back. People will defend this film. I want answers, and I want them now. And you can't make your first answer Daniel Day-Lewis is a tour de force because we all know that. And I also will know that your argument after that will be very, very, very weak because that's all this film props itself on is Daniel Day-Lewis. People are claiming this is a passable remote test film. It is not. Nick, the remote test, at any point do you catch us on cable to date ourselves or wherever? Do you drop the remote and say, I know what I'm doing for the next half hour? No, this film you do not do that with one bit. Paul Thomas Anderson is 50% in my book. So in MLB, he's going to the Hall of Fame. In the NBA, he's as bad as Shaq is from the foul line. I love Boogie Nights. I liked Hard 8. I was bored to shit with Inherent Vice and The Master. I think Magnolia is okay. I get why people hate it. I'm not going to die in the hill for that. But for the love of this film, flies 50,000 feet above my head. 3 out of 10, and that's because Daniel Day-Lewis is poetry in motion. This film, I don't understand why. Again, I know it's a very well-made film, and I appreciate the themes and the layers, but I didn't care. I was bored stiff, did not like it. Pass.
Wow. So even with, hold on, let me just get this straight. You acknowledge the themes, which mean a lot, right? Because there's layers. There's like the greed, the religion, the just capitalism, all this stuff. And then there's the book. There's Upton Sinclair. It's like it's a part of history. And then you've got Daniel Day-Lewis. And yes, it's too long, but you're saying you give it a 3?
I had to turn. I just told you I had to watch it in 2 settings. I was that bored. I was that.
Wow.
It slogged. It slogged.
That
Listen, all those things. Now you just broke it up like a recipe. We all like Hershey's. We all like bacon. We all like steak. We all like whiskey.
Okay.
Separately, they're all great. But when you mix all 4 together, they're pretty fucking gross. And that's what this is. As so, David tells... What?
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
As David Tell says, 2 things that go together, whiskey and cotton candy, but you can't combine the 2 of them. No. You know why? Because it tastes like you just blew a clown.
Bro.
That's a great David Tell joke, and that's why he's the best.
Well, no, now I'm thinking, like, did I go into watching this initially? Like, I have to like it because it won an Academy Award. Like, I have to like. So, no, honestly, now I'm thinking back, like, maybe that's a thing. But then I'm like, no, because... I don't know. What was that Frances McDormand movie that won the Academy? That I was like, that was the
Nomad,
worst.
Hard Pass.
Yeah, oh my God, whatever that was. But I'm like, I went into that and I was like, this is the worst movie. Like I had no redeeming qualities. So I'm kind of like, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I gotta, yeah.
This is a critic's hand job wet dream, this film. Anything with a theme, anything with all these layers. Again, I'm with you. And Daniel Day-Lewis, he can take a shit in the Queen's mouth while finger fucking 13 altar boys and still be deemed the greatest of all time.
Right. No.
And the critics will back him up. But this film dragged. That's why I ask if anyone owns it. If you own it, then I know you're a fan. Do the critics like, oh, I go back and watch There Will Be Blood all the time. Like I watch Caddyshack or Pulp Fiction or JFK or whatever the fuck else. LA Confidential, Shawshank. No, people don't own this. Critics, 5-star reviews. Daniel Day-Lewis delivers one of the best performances of all time. PTA's riveting epic of greed, capitalism, religion, and family is one for the ages. A modern masterpiece.
The thing that bugs me when critics say that is like they're completely discrediting his other roles. Like I think the best role he ever had was The Crucible. Like
I
the
didn't see it.
ending,
Just thinking that.
like
Wait,
the ending when he's like,
it.
yeah, at the end when he's like, it's my name. Like his turn in that is the best performance he ever had. Like every movie that comes out, they're like, this is the best one. This is no. Like
I just got chills when you said that. When he was John Proctor, that literally, I have a huge boner just thinking about it. Literally, no, honestly,
not even needing
I'm
lesbian,
hard.
not even needing lesbian porn either for that.
No, I'm literally hard thinking of him saying that's my name when he's like in court or whatever that was. My name, like, oh my god, I'm gonna go watch it right now.
It's all I have.
Yeah, you just killed me. You just killed me. I love it.
An absolutely phenomenal performance by Daniel Day-Lewis brings to life a charismatic and captivating a character as to any grace the screen this year. No Country for Old Men. We've done it on this podcast. Atonement, didn't see it. Juno, No. Michael Clayton, never saw it. There Will Be Blood. Wow. You talk about a very, very low bar for entry. No Country for Old Men should have won, and it did. But then again, it's good. It's okay. It's not, holy shit, I'm remembering this for the rest of my life good.
Yeah, no, it was overhyped.
You remember, again, and this is the same exact case in point, actually. You don't remember Old Country for Old Men for the whole story. You remember him for Anton Chigurh. That's all you remember him for, is the villain, what a badass he was and what he did. And he's the best villain in the last 10, 15 years. He's in that conversation of Darth Vader is one of the worst villains of all time. I'm remiss to think of some right now, but you get the point. Thanos, the Joker, Dark Knight. You get the point. There Will Be Blood needs no defense as a modern cinema classic. Get the fuck out of here. Sometimes a filmmaker makes that unexpected leap to the top of his craft. Blood is Paul Thomas Anderson's Raging Bull. No, it is not. It's Boogie Nights, kids, far and away. Also 2.5 hours, but I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Partially because you get to see Heather Graham naked on many occasions. Critics 1-star reviews. Histrionic, fatally confused, and socially evasive, Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood is all the worse for its touching upon important subjects, oil and religion in American life. Who suggested the John Huston accent? We keep expecting Daniel Plainview to molest a young niece or something. That, kids, if you're not paying attention, is a Chinatown reference, which we just did in this podcast.
I knew that.
Very soon. Next one. This movie makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, and it takes almost 3 hours, which not to make any fucking sense, and is very loud and chesty about it.
Chesty. I like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm going to start incorporating chesty more often. How about you two?
I mean,
okay.
I have breasts, so I can't mention my chest, or else they just draws them to it.
Oh, Nikki, you don't have boobs. I can't see any. You're good.
The moments that linger long. I'll save you, Nick. The moments that linger long after. The moments that linger long after you left the theater and forgotten how damn tedious the whole thing was are with Paul Dano's smug, moon-faced preacher.
Okay, yeah.
He does a bit of a moon face. Amazon 5-star reviews. This movie is so good. It may not be for everyone. There is no gratuitous sex, CGI, or cheesy one-liners. It is Daniel Day-Lewis at his finest and a writer-director at his finest. If you actually watch the scenes and observe what is going on underneath just the overt conflict, it is amazing.
Wow.
Once upon a time, I drove through a blizzard in northeast Wisconsin to see this movie in the theater, and it did not disappoint. I have seen it many times since, and it's a masterclass in acting and directing. If you have any doubts that Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the greatest actors that have ever lived, this movie will change your mind. Look, I have driven through a snowstorm to get laid many a times, but to go see a film is a type of desperation I will never know the likes of.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Like, dude, get a life or something. Go on
Right.
Reddit.
Right. Want to go to the movies?
That's a life right there, going on Reddit. I mean,
Want to go to the movies in a snowstorm? Nah, I'm going to chill out at home. Hey, I got some brand new lingerie I'm looking for you to try on. If you want to come over, I'll be there in 2.5 hours if I'm following a plow. I didn't find any plot holes in it. I really encourage everyone to watch it. Even if you think it's boring, you cannot miss this. Don't take my word on it that it's a masterpiece or whatnot. Just go watch and see for yourself. Let me just tell you, it's worth more than $10 if it gets so many reactions from this amount of people.
I guess.
What an epic! The score is its own character. I could watch this movie for the rest of my life and never see all its layers. And P.S. Daniel Day-Lewis is hot. They should remake this movie, add a female love interest for him, and cast me. Sure, Hausfrau from Madison, Wisconsin. Central Casting's going to see this review in the Amazon review section and call you in for an audition in no time. Bring your best 8x10 and your floral print dress and get ready to make it big in Hollywood.
He's going to come out of retirement just for you.
Yeah. Amazon 1-star reviews. I eagerly anticipated seeing this movie and was expecting an interesting fictional story about an inherently dramatic early days of the California oil industry. Instead, I saw typical simplistic leftist Hollywood and anti-Christian, anti-industrial drivel. Many parts of the plot made no sense. Mainly boredom interspersed with episodes of extreme, mainly gratuitous violence. Signed, Jennifer Aniston.
That was a good one.
The violence, overacting, and evil undercurrent throughout made this film difficult to watch. I stopped watching. I could have simply thrown my money in the trash. If I had been in a theater, I would have walked out. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
I know that song.
Yes.
Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4"
Impala.
The plot is vague if you can find it. The music was something to endure, not enjoy. I had to take a significant break halfway through the movie because it is so difficult to listen to the music. At times, I muted the sound. I watched it to the end, hoping the story would have some redeeming value, but found none.
Wow. Harsh.
Wait till you get to this one. Immaculately made garbage. We have two crude symbolic characters, a ruthless oil man and tycoon who helped build California's Central Valley, and a corrupt preacher, business and church. They are loathsome in every respect, the real fossil fuel to the heart's content, and have their Hispanic help buy produce that comes from the Central Valley, now one of the most productive agricultural regions in the world, while acting superior and thumbing their nose at those who build things of genuine value. This film was brought to you by that paragon of moral virtue, Harvey Weinstein. There Will Be Blood is a twin of another immaculately made film, Chinatown, in which Roman Polanski, having anally raped the 13-year-old, shows us the moral decay of a tycoon who brings water to Southern California.
What the?
I forgot this was a Miramax film. I totally forgot this was. Yeah, this is Harvey.
The powers of her deduction are strong, aren't they?
I'm just saying. I forgot.
The last review. The opening scene is compelling, but pretty much the rest of the movie is a setup to denounce Christ and label God as a myth. Do not give your time, our attention, not or, to this movie if you are a Christian. If you are not a Christian, don't let this movie pervert your perception of the church, God, or Christ, and those how follow him. Signed, Peter North. So Christians, pay no heed. Jews, Muslims, everybody else, hey, this isn't how shit works out. Lauren Conlon, did Nick from Gag on This podcast gut the sacred cow?
I mean, I like Nick, so I have a problem with this. I don't agree with everything he said, but I think he did a phenomenal job trying to convince me. As did you, Kevin, but we're focused on Nick. So you know what? I would say, yeah, he gut the fucking cow.
Whoa! One for one out of the gate, big Nick. I will co-sign that gutting. Then again, it didn't take much for this syphilitic cow to fall over due to the awful dragging plot tones and unnecessary dialogue and silence of film for 15 minutes in the opening. We didn't need that. We already saw that failed with 2001: A Space Odyssey, another piece of shit that was done in this podcast. Kevin Israel's most hated film ever on this podcast, by the way, note. Hey, Nick, why don't you tell the fine folks what you're up to, where we can find you, all that good stuff that you want everyone to know about you.
I'm a Cancer. I like long walks on the beach. No, follow me on Twitter at @TheBigNickJ. I do host a comedy podcast called Gag on This. Me and a couple of my friends, we interview comedians. We actually had Kevin on, and it was a glorious time with the Sinky.
Lauren, I'll tell you what this is. So they were looking at my voiceover work, and this Sinky I did a commercial for is a plastic container you put your dick in and fill it with soap and water and wash it.
Wait, no.
Go YouTube the Sinky, and you will hear me narrating on how to use the Sinky. Seriously. The funny part was, this is 100%. The day before that, I did a national campaign for Trident gum. So highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows in just one full day.
Wait, that's so funny. Oh, wait, Nick, I'm following you now on Instagram.
Oh.
Are you Gag on This? Or like, is that your podcast?
Yeah.
That's fucking gross, man.
That's a command.
That's the name of your podcast is Gag on This?
Yeah, well, it's a
what's the matter with you? Like, what? I'm just kidding.
It's a double entendre. You're not the first one to say it's disgusting. But no, we have comedians on. They tell gags on the stage. We invite them on so they tell jokes on this podcast.
Oh, so you don't mean like gag on an object or like a...
Well, our logo is a mouth gagging on a microphone, so there is that implication.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna stalk you and then I will see. But yeah, cool.
So yeah, Gag on This, we release episodes every Saturday on YouTube and then every Monday on podcast platforms. Check it out.
Yes, do check it out, especially my episode. Lauren Conlon, my Power Lunch compatriot friend.
Yes.
How are you doing? What can we find you? What are you up to besides interviewing everybody on the red carpet these days?
I don't even know. A bunch of that, a few podcasts, a few news hits here and there. I mean, when a celeb dies, my phone is blowing up. And then, or when they get in a car accident or whatever. But
so that means Anne Heche and Olivia Newton-John have been setting your phone into down to 50%.
Dude, I have to tell you, I was all set up today to do a Anne Heche hit, and then literally Olivia Newton-John died, and the producer texts me as I'm on the Skype, and she's like, "We're not doing Anne Heche; it's all Olivia Newton-John." And I'm like, "Okay, here we go." So yeah, I mean, let's get physical. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, she did on the autopsy table. I don't know. And we did Grease on this very podcast. Spoiler, I hate that film. Lauren, where else can we find you? What are you up to? Anything else you want to shout out?
You can find me on Twitter, Conlon_Lauren, or on Instagram, Lauren_interviews. My podcast, Lauren Interviews, is everywhere. And my other podcast, Millennials Revealed with Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees, is also everywhere. So you can listen to either of those.
Please do. Guttingthesacredcow.com, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com, kevingoatee.com for dates and shenanigans or a foot. Give that a looky-loo, as the kids say. And again, if you want to advertise with us, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com, patreon.com, guttingthesacredcow. And listen, thank you, Nick, for finally we were able to lasso you and get you on. I know we were doing a little bobbing and weaving for picking a date, but here we are. So glad we were able to make this happen. Thank you for doing so. Lauren Conlon, again, always a pleasure, my dear. I love chowing and talking shit with you. I do too. Mm-hmm. I love chowing and talking shit with you. And we're due very soon for their Power Lunch. It will be next week. I have decreed such. Kevin Goatee saying thank you both for coming on, and we'll see everybody next time. Aloha.
Later.